So let's talk about the SnoGo thing. I got a couple thoughts about it. So I kind of just made the decision to get the SnoGo, one for myself and one for my wife, a couple months ago. You know, I'd heard about them. I'd seen clips of them. I'd seen them on the mountain for the last few years, but I didn't really consider it. I mean, mostly because of the cost. They're kind of expensive, and so let's get that part out of the way right off the bat. So the SnoGos that we have are the SnoGo Shift. So I found mine used on Facebook. One of them was used and the other one was brand new in the box. The dude on Facebook that I bought them from, you know, he gave them to me for about $2,800 for the pair, and these are $2,000 new each from SnoGo. So, you know, I saved a little bit, probably, what is that, like 70% of the cost, so about 30% off for two relatively brand new SnoGos. So pretty happy with what I paid for them. I mountain bike a lot. You guys know that. You see a lot of stuff from me. I'm pretty much pumping videos out just about every day these days. So I ride mountain bikes a lot, and you know, once I started realizing that I could like ride a bike all winter long, that got me pretty damn excited. So after I got them, I got pretty giddy about it. You know, I started like researching a ton about, you know, how people set them up. They come with a pretty long stem on them that's adjustable. Adjustable like on tilt. You can tilt it up, tilt it flat, whatever. I ended up swapping my stem out pretty much right off the bat for just, you know, a 31/8, about 40 mil length PNW stem that I had laying around. So I threw that on right away, and then I went for my first ride. First ride was surprising. Like, I had heard, you know, the company kind of touts how the progression of the SnoGo is uncanny. It's not what people are used to with snow sports, with winter sports. I mean, people are used to hopping on a snowboard, trying to learn how to ride that thing, and they're on their butt or their knees more than they're on their feet throughout their first day. Skis, I never rode skis, but I assume it's kind of similar. You know, it's kind of hard to learn how to ride a snowboard or a ski, or skis. Not the same thing with the SnoGo. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased. Maybe my situation is a little bit different than the average person, since I ride bikes so much. But honestly, I think if anyone hopped on a SnoGo and they kind of understood, you know, somebody kind of taught them or told them, you know, certain things to look out for, certain things to like pay attention to when it comes to riding it and how to ride it and all that, I think anyone would be able to figure it out within the first day. Because after my first lap, I already felt like I was ready to go. I was ready to go on you know, on the bigger lifts. My wife and I went up on the first day, and we did a few laps on the bunny hill, and after that it felt like we were definitely ready to go. You know, next lap up, we went on the Majestic lift at Brighton, which is kind of like the halfway up lift. It was the only real lift that was open at the time, and felt great. I mean, the steeper stuff, you definitely had to pay attention to a few different things, a few more things that I didn't on the bunny hill. When you start getting into steeper stuff, obviously you pick up speed really fast, so you gotta be on top of it as far as braking. You gotta, you know, braking the SnoGo is just like a ski. You kind of have to like just you know, shift your hips side to side. But there's one thing that's different that SnoGo talks about on their tutorial videos online. They talk about how you have to put a lot of pressure on your front ski when you're turning, or else you'll just kind of spin out and spin backwards, like spin a 180. If you don't have enough pressure on that front ski edge as you're turning left or right, then the back skis will just spin. And so thinking about that, you know, I realized that they were right. I mean, they were clearly right. You really have to, you know, lean forward and left and forward and right, whichever way you're turning, to really put enough pressure down on that front ski to hold that front edge and hold that carve. If you want to, you know, like kind of board slide out and come to a stop, then you can, you know, pull up a little bit on your pressure on the front ski, and it'll kind of board slide to a stop if you want it to. So that is a little bit different than mountain biking. I feel like mountain biking, you're a little bit more neutral on the bike. You're definitely kind of more like centered on the bike, not putting a ton of pressure on the front, not like this at least. So that part, you know, took a little bit of getting used to, you know, but after like one more run on the longer lift, the longer runs, it felt fine, you know. But then you know, I kind of mess with stuff a lot. So after that day, I swapped out the bars for some high-rise bars, thinking that I was leaning over a little bit too far. I felt like I was a little stretched out maybe. And so I got some high-rise bars. I moved my bindings up forwards as far as they could go. And the high-rise bars, they felt good for certain things, like jumping, you know, kind of leaning back on the SnoGo, getting it to pop over stuff. For that, it felt pretty good. But turning suffered. I could not get enough pressure on that front ski to really comfortably carve or turn that bike. So I ended up swapping it back over to a middle of the road rise. So the first bar, the one that it comes with, I think it's probably like maybe a 30 mil rise, maybe 40 mil rise bar. And then the second bar that I put on it was a 90 mil rise, pretty tall, I know. So then the third bar that I put on it is a 60 mil rise. So I'm gonna see how that goes today. See if that's kind of the sweet spot as far as the rise goes. And like I said, keep in mind, you know, I have a non-adjustable typical like mountain bike stem on it, 31/8 40 mil length PNW stem, whereas the original stem that it has the adjustments, so you can adjust it up to account for that rise that you may want, except it's stretched out if you have it flat, stretched out forward. So I don't know. My wife still has the original stem on hers. She's going to play with that as well as far as the rise goes. So yeah, pressure on the front ski was one of the things that I definitely realized is a little bit different than the mountain biking. And really, it's just pressure on the handlebars. Like you're leaning the bike, and as you lean the bike, the rear skis they're on like a pivoting, articulating setup. Or linkage system, and so as you put pressure down onto your left handlebar or your right handlebar, it automatically leans the rear skis on the bike, so that both rear skis are tilting together. So you're catching both left edges or both right edges as you start to push down on the handlebars and lean your body into that turn, into that carve. So that's a pretty fun feeling. It rides really fun. It rides really comfortable. You know, I felt comfortable enough to hit boxes and you know, hit kickers, and I hit some steep like mini tree runs and rock drops just on my second day. I mean, this thing is just like they say, it is easy to get comfortable on, which probably means it's easy to get into trouble on. So I need to check myself probably as I start, you know, as more lifts start opening and more of the technical runs start opening up here as we get more snow. Well, anyways, just wanted to say a couple things that I've noticed. I'm gonna be riding a lot up here, pumping out lots of content. We'll probably be filming a lot up here. I'm using my full face downhill mountain biking helmet. Just have the Insta360 on my chin bar like normal. So, well, I'm pulling up, so let's have a day. See ya.